This is probably the cutest car you've ever seen. All year. Somewhere between 300 and 400 kilometers of range. Tiny little wheels. It's kind of narrow in a way I haven't seen this narrow car in at least 20 years, I think. It's tiny, really tiny. It's a Hyundai Inster. Based on something called I think it was called Casper in Korea, which I think is a much cooler name. It should be white and been a little ghost, but there you have it. It's really, really funky, cool looking with these squarish front lights. And then you have down here the DRLs and also I think some of the high beams. Full of sensor suite here, full on the region is everything we know from Hyundai, what they know how to make electric drivetrains and all that stuff. Look at this, rear headlights. And it just takes away the same round in the back here as you have in the front. Tiny little hatch. The whole thing here is lots of space under here as well. Lots of space. And this faff. Well, yeah, you're supposed to clip it on here like this, and then you can of course put the seats down, because the point is that you can do, let's see, you can move the rear seats from this is my sitting position. I'm 1 meter and 89 centimeters, and this. So basically what I can do, I can sit behind myself in a tiny little car, and I can have this much leg room, which is what I should have had if it's been packaged like anybody else, or this much leg room, which is because the knee is still too high, and I sit with my knees around my shoulders. But I mean, look at this. Plenty of headspace. Like this kind of two-tone materials, all textiles of course. Nice kind of 70s look to everything. 60s, 70s design choice, more 60s possibly. And this is kind of a vinyl, plasticky, looks like something you might have had a kitchen top or something at some point. But it's alright. Absolutely no door pockets at all. And these are to be able to pull out, I think. You see something here with its screws, and then replace it, put in like trays and holders and all kinds of stuff you can get as an optional extra. I have no idea where you're gonna fit your drinks. Maybe you buy a drinks holder. Probably yes. It's really USB-C outlets in the back. No. And this isn't a top spec car. This is the most expensive car. Let's do this again. You can see now, suddenly you got more luggage space. Of course, the first thing you would do is take this thing and just toss it away, wouldn't you? Because it's stupid. Obviously, there is no automation on the hatch. Let's see if it's the Frunk in this one. I mean, it starts at 250,000, and this is 350,000, I think, with winter tires and everything. Tiny 165/65 15s. Really puny little wheels. But it claims it can do 400 kilometers. No, there's no Frunk. And this is definitely a steel bonnet. And there's nothing here. It's even a pop-up stalk to keep it from falling down in your head. Heavy piece of steel plate, that. You have all the cameras, you have all the mod cons in this one. You even have a roof rack which can carry 75 kilos. Proper steel, solid stuff. And then you have this. Hello. So like I said, this is the top version with long range, with 400 kilometers of range. It claims 412 now. We're at 90 something of there, 95%. You have buttons here for your everything. Let's just fire it up. Put it up on auto. Fan here. Temperature, driver mode, all that stuff. Cameras. Push the right button. Cameras here. So you have all these things, and a shelf with a nice bit of lighting in it. I don't know if you can see this. 12 volts and stuff here. And down here you have, that's your charge pad. Here's your heated seats. It looks like it can have cooled seats as well. I don't know if it can, but this is buttons for it. This is another shelf, and down here you have power outlet. Also, this has vehicle to load. And you're, put a phone down here maybe. And then you have drink holders. And this sofa kind of thing can move back and forth like this. I like the styling, I like the material choices. They're solid, they're plastic, but they're solid, proper feeling. This isn't flimsy, cheapy. Not even the back of the screen feels cheap. And these feels tactile and nice to touch. Not overly expensive, but not overly cheap either. It all feels very nice. And you have the steering wheel, of course, the standard Kia Hyundai thing they've had for a while now. It's really pleasant. And it's a very narrow car. You sit pretty high in it. In some ways it reminds me of the Kia Soul, actually. A bit narrow and high. And a bit strange looking. Strange driving. Very comfortable. Not quite as soft and plush in the suspension as the Citroen was. The EC3. Of course not. It's a Citroen. It's French. That's what they do. That really is. We're now on the motorway, and I've set the cruise to 120 kilometers an hour. We're not doing that right now because, well, traffic. We're doing 110, so we're doing the speed limit. This is a around 24,000 euro car, I think. Thereabouts. Depends on market and stuff. Granted, this is a top of the line version with a sunroof you can open and everything. Really, it's nice. Don't know if it's worth 350,000 kroner though, which is 10,000 more. No, which is 100,000 more, or around 10,000 euros on top of the starting price. It only has 100. I think it was 88 kilowatt or something like that. Or was it 88 horsepower? It's not quick. It has a 0 to 60 time of 10 point something. But like the Dongfeng and also the Renault EG3, it doesn't feel underpowered. The chassis and the steering and the way this thing drives, it drives like a much bigger car than it is. And all the safety tech, like for instance the video stream you get when you indicate somewhere and you get a video of that side of the car, of the blind spot monitoring. That's just standard. You have the electric drivetrain with the paddles and the iPedal driving, and all that thing is standard. Stellantis group can't touch that. They don't have anything that's close to this. Maybe some lumbar support, possibly. I like the instrumentation, it's clear and crisp. I like the way they've tried to make dials. You can argue, and I will. It would have been really cool if it was dials. 2 free floating dials and a small screen in the middle. That would have been. Then you can implement the screen somewhere, somehow. That would have been really sweet, because it would fit kind of this slightly retro design language of this car. It has one hell of a range. We're at 85%, and it claims 364 kilometers. Mind you, we are at the motorway, and we're going relatively quickly, but still, since someone charged this car today, it has had an average consumption of 160 watt hours. We've done 40 kilometers already, so the 400 kilometer claim still stands. Of course it won't do that if thunder down on the motorway. No. And this is a steep, properly steep hill. There's a gradient sign somewhere, I don't remember what it says, but this is a really, really steep hill and it's a really shit road. And yet, it just swallows it. You look at the car and you think, oh, that's gonna be a city car. It's gonna have a completely mediocre suspension, it's gonna be small and narrow and tight, and the interior is gonna be cheap. It isn't. It's none of those things. It's nippy and quake, and the interior isn't cheap. The seats are comfortable and the textile and the 70s kind of style of them. The black and white houndstooth kind of thing fits the... No, it's kind of really nice, this thing. Tell horse, chill out. Hello, horsey. That's the nice thing about electric cars, they don't scare the animals. It's very quiet, very well insulated cabin. Once again, you keep coming back to the price. And now you can begin to see why it costs a little bit more than the other two cars. And I would also include in that, without having driven it, the Fiat 500, because it's a Stellantis car. We all know how they build their cars. After all, this chassis though. Yeah, that's the limit of the tires. That's a really... I mean, yeah, this is a tiny little car on 15-inch rims, and you can just throw it around like that and it just swallows it up and handles it beautifully. Not slow. This is not like the old days where you got this... Maybe you had the 1 liter in this car, like the Kia, like the Ford, it's the street car that I have, the car. You have a 1 liter or maybe a 1.2 liter, you have maybe 90 or 100 horses, and you have this, and then nothing happens. It just makes more noise, but it doesn't go anywhere. And this, it really does. It's quite nippy. It's just, and it's fun. And you have your auto wipers and your auto headlights and your adaptive cruise and your lane keep, and it's proper lane keep and proper cruise and proper stuff. Because granted, there's no room in the cabin here, because you have your little holder for your phone, and then you have your small shelf and your useless door pockets, which really is awful. There's no space in them at all, apart from maybe for a letter. It's a letterbox. I mean, now you can just, you know, the lane keep is actually on, so I can just do it like this and it drives itself. So in that sense, you know what, 350,000, okay, it's a bit much on the top. It's a bit much maybe. But then look at the quality of this. Yeah, the only thing I wish I can really get more of is more sound, better sound system. But both of the screens here, they're proper quality level screens. Granted, the infotainment screen is a little bit too slow. It's a bit laggy. Kia Hyundai has to improve that. But everything else here, no. I mean, you can't complain and say, oh, I need more luggage space. Yeah, get another car. Yes, alright, it could have had a Frunk. Granted, but apart from that, you know what? I really don't care. But that's 350,000 though. It does compare so slightly with the with the Kia EV6, which is a bigger car than this. Of course. But that is the low end of the EV3, and this is the top end of the Inster. So yeah, well, that is a thing. I think maybe the Inster wins. It depends very much on where you live and what you want. But yes, for range, I mean, there's nothing in this class that has this range. It doesn't exist. You claim they have it on the paper, but no, they don't have that in the real world. We all know what the Koreans can do when it comes to efficiency. They're very, very, very good at that. So yeah, it's spring. All the fun cars are coming out. Let's see if I can get some pictures of it. There's a few slightly annoying reflections in the windscreen from time to time. But apart from that, I am really, really impressed with this car. It's quiet. I don't have to scream on the motorway. This is not the motorway, but still, I don't have to scream at it. Sound system sounds pretty decent. Again, it's not a Burmester sound system, but given the price of the car. And the lights seem to be very, very, very good, which is a surprise, I might add. I mean, I've now done 108 kilometers in it since someone charged it. I've done most of those kilometers anyway, regardless. It still indicates 256 left, which is still 350 kilometers. So, yeah, it's no automation on these lights, I think. But the low beams seem good. Yeah, it's spread on them as well. One thing that drives me up the wall is the fact that you have to cable the thing to run CarPlay, and then CarPlay keeps falling out all the time. Could be my cable, could be my phone, I don't know, but it's extremely annoying. But like I said, I'm not gonna put that fully on the car because I don't know. Might be other things. But either way, it's frustrating. I mean, even the Fiat 500, which is another dinky, small, tiny, lovely, wonderful small car, has wireless CarPlay. I think that was one of the first cars I ever noticed it in. So, you know, Kia should have done better than this. I know they have to save money somewhere, but they order so many units of them anyway. But that's one of the few low points of the car, actually. They've kind of balanced the illumination of the screens very well. Same what goes with most other lights here. Sometimes 4 dots on the steering wheel can be a little bit annoying because the steering wheel is at a slight angle, so they light upwards in my face. But oh well, that's about the only niggle I have really. And that one ding dong, which I still haven't figured out what it is. And also the fact that you can map one of the buttons probably, but getting to all of the safety systems and turn off the ones that you need is a little bit of a faff, I must say. It's a bit of a faff. So once you've done it, but you have to do it every single time, and that's but that's not unique in any way, of course, for this car. I don't think it's worth 350,000, but around between 250 and 300,000 NOK, between what, 22 to 27 euros or something like that. 27,000 euros. I mean, yeah, I can buy that. I can buy that with this chassis and the range and the tech and the safety stuff you get. Yeah, Sure. So, well, the battery, the camera ran out of power. This is the best car in this class. It will do between 300 and 400 kilometers of range. And the top end is a little bit expensive, maybe, but definitely well worth checking out. So, yeah, that's about it, really. Thanks for watching. Do take care. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and all that stuff. And I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.